Here is the first question. Somehow it relates to bowling, of course. It must do. Killer Carl, but he's spelt Carl with a C here, so it's probably not Killer Carl Cox. We never heard your opinion of what you thought of the Young Bucks in AEW. Do you agree with Kenny Boland's assessment that they simply don't pass the believability test as far as size and appearance? Or does it not matter to you as long as the fans are responding? It didn't seem to hamper Ricky Morton's career.
No. Okay, if I'm a promoter and I put two guys out there, they could weigh 160 pounds, look like shit, I don't care. But if the people bought tickets to see these guys, they'd be in the main event every week. Now, granted, the Bucks aren't physical specimens; they're not weightlifters, but they do innovative stuff. If you like that kind of wrestling, that's the type of wrestling for you. To me, I don't think if you just judge them on just their appearance and their size. I'll ask you, James, if you put the Young Bucks in WWE, and I ask everybody listening, where do you see the Young Bucks fitting in WWE? Or if they even fit in? Yay or nay?
I think anyone can fit in. I'm sure that, they're talented enough, and I think it takes all shapes and sizes to make an interesting roster. But do you see them as the top tag team in WWE, Dutch, if they did go?
No. Oh, they could go. They could go. One thing I would insist, if I booked the Young Bucks, cut your hair shorter or something. They look like 1991 or whatever. They look so dated with that hair. And I used to have hair like that. And somebody said, cut your hair, do something. So I finally cut my hair, and it actually feels better. You actually look better. And the Young Bucks aren't big guys, but they do some really good stuff. And they're like 40 years old. How old are those guys, you think?
I'm glad you asked that, because I just Googled it. Matthew is 38, and the younger one's 33. Nick is 33.
Okay. Oh, they're not real. They still got 10 years together. But
you might have to change the names, though, when one of them's 48 and they're still the Young Bucks. Middle-aged Bucks.
The middle age or that'd be a good name for them. Yeah, just the middle-aged Bucks. But knowing them, they do. What I do like about the Young Bucks, they do these little clips, and they're like tongue-in-cheek clips, and they're good. I like it, but the only thing I got against the Bucks, they're super kick crazy. If you sit back in a match, a 20-minute match, I bet you got 20, 30 super kicks in that match somewhere. And they do the double kicks. And if a super kick meant anything before they went in there, after you see so many, it's just like an arm drag now. It means nothing. But they are very creative in some of the stuff they put together. If you watch wrestling for that, if you watch it for the moves, I've always felt that wrestling works better with a story, but not every match can have a story. So they've made up for that by being creative. And I can't say anything about their work. The work's good. They're just not very big, and and if they walked into a 7-Eleven somewhere and you didn't know who they were, and somebody said, "Oh, there's two professional wrestlers over there." Where? Those two guys? No, they're not. Oh, yeah, they are.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you, because it's the Vince McMahon airport test. How much of a believer are you in? Do you know the airport test, where if you're in the airport and you see someone over the way and you look at them and you sort of instinctively know that they're somebody, that they're a star, or they're on TV? Are you a big proponent of that, or not so much?
Well, Vince is of the persuasion of that you have to look like a star. And it's not only wrestlers, but if you see a big bodybuilder go through there and he's got arms like this, Well, he's somebody. You just don't know maybe who. And he used to like big guys, which is fine. But that's fine for just a visual conception. If you see somebody like that. But if you see them in the arena, sometimes size is misleading. Who is I can't even remember his name now. He's in AEW now, and he was the world champion at one time. What's his name?
Hangman Page.
He wanted no.
John Moxley.
Not
Kenny
Moxley.
Omega.
Well, take Omega. He's not a big guy.
I was going to say Adam Cole next.
Brian Danielson.
Yeah.
But look at him, because he's and he's got a style completely different from the Young Bucks, because he makes you believe his stuff. The Young Bucks are go. I don't think they even know the word sell. They don't. Because a sell to them is 5 seconds. Up, got to be doing something else. Brian Danielson tells the story during his match. And if he hurts his leg, 5 minutes later, he will do a callback on that leg to remind you that it's still hurt. I don't know why they don't teach guys more that if they hurt their leg, say in 10 minutes into the match, wouldn't it still be hurting at 15 minutes?
I don't know why that's 20? Just not instinctive. Why would you even have to tell someone that? I've never understood why so few people. Because
we don't have Rhodes Scholars trying to be wrestlers. But the old timers would tell you, hey, remember your leg is hurt. And actually, it's a good point if you can remember that, because then you can try to do something and then your leg gives out. And now the people know where it comes from. You heard it 10 minutes ago or 5 minutes ago.
I want to.
But trying to teach that is a course unto itself. And like you said, it should be instinctive, but believe me, it's not. Because a lot of guys will get hurt and all of a sudden they're up like Superman, like nothing else, like the match just first started. And I do hate that, but hey, I'm one guy. I can't set the rules for everybody or even set a standard. It is what it is. So, but Brian Danielson is good at that, and much better than the Bucks. Because I think if the Bucks actually sold sympathetically, they could have those people on the edge of their seats, because they have a connection to those fans. Say they were some big dastardly heels, and these heels, they kind of knew how to get vicious. When he made that tag, we call it the hot tag. When he made the hot tag, they'd be up for it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Let's say I would, if I could sit down with the Bucks and kind of relay this theory to them, they may look at me and say, "Shut the F up. We don't need to listen to you." And they don't. They really don't. But I think if they tried it, they might even be surprised themselves at the reaction they get.
Do you think they'd be too self-conscious? Do you know what I mean?
Self-conscious?
Yeah, because it
of
takes
their size.
No, not that. I think it's because it takes a certain amount of confidence to go out there and portray yourself like that. I don't know where I heard this from before. I think Raven said this, and he always said he never quite got Chris Benoit as like the all-time greatest wrestler, because he'd go so quick all the time, and he always said that he sort of considered Chris as someone who was a bit self-conscious of his own performance. He never wanted to let the match breathe ever. You know what I mean? He just wants to get to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And maybe that's something that some of these wrestlers, maybe they're a bit self-conscious that they don't want to, really show too much emotion. I don't know.
Okay, years ago, say I'm wrestling you, James, and we're not in the same dressing room. So we can't go over anything. We can't work anything out in advance. So we just go in the ring. Sometimes some of my best matches, well, not best, but some really, really good matches went on when I didn't pre-plan stuff. The old saying is, we're collared in the ring. You don't hear that now. You don't have one guy saying, we're collared in the ring. You may still have it, but it's guys who worked together 100 times. But we used to have to go in there because we'd have to dress. We had separate dressing rooms. So you went into the ring and you worked 10 minutes, 15 minutes without discussing anything. But in that, you settled down. And then you told a story. You listened to the people. You read the room. And if you read the room and you feel the room, you can feel it rumble. They'll tell you when the time for the tag. You just know instinctively if you listen to it. And that's the way it's done. Nowadays, the guys take a 15-minute match, and it takes them 2 hours to go over it, because some of those moves are very, very not nuanced, but they're intricate, because some of the things they go through, and I appreciate that art. And I think the AEW fan is more educated like that than, say, a WWE fan. But I've noticed in the last, 8 months, 9 months, or 10 months since Triple H has been there, they have kind of cut down on those long spots, continuing spots, and they chop it up more, which actually makes for a better match for me. I mean, I'm just speaking for me. I can't speak for everybody, because that's what makes it. That's why you have the high flyers. That's why you have the big, strong men and guys with gimmicks, and because you have to reach everybody. And if you can do that, then you have a good show. Just because I don't agree with some of it doesn't mean it's not good.
I just want to bring this up quickly. I've never been to one before. It's not really my bag, but I thought I'd go because it was in Manchester. It was like a wrestling convention. You know, they have the tables up in the sign, signs and photos and cues and stuff like that. And there was quite a few big names like Booker T and Big Show was there, and Kevin Nash. One person, I went on the Sunday. I think it was busier on the Saturday, but I went on the Sunday. There was one person who had a line so long it snaked around, and practically everybody else had no line, or maybe a couple of people. Daniel Bryan yep. Danielson. And do you know why? Apart from the fact that, people believe in him, and also I think he's the most accessible person. Because, I'm not the kind of person to introduce myself to people. I don't like doing it. I did it to Dallas Page because I've interviewed him a couple of times, and that was it. But you look at him, he's not intimidating. He's super friendly. He is one of you, and that's how he hooks you in, and it's genuine.
Even when he does his interviews, you feel like he's the guy next door. And you feel like you could go up and talk to him. See, Hulk Hogan didn't have that same aura about him. He had that, he was big, and a lot of people were intimidated by it to even say hello to him. But with Daniel, you don't have that. And I think that does lend itself to the general audience, especially when he's wrestling, because I think he's every man in the audience, and the ladies out there, he's a good-looking guy. They like him, but he struggles, and he has to overcome a lack of size. So he's got a lot of things working for him. He does a good, believable interview. And like you say, he's accessible. I think people aren't afraid to go up and say hello or ask for an autograph. And so, and he was And he's a good guy backstage too. I've always got along with him. Good guy.